Yeah, well, Sheriff Luna would not make the connection, but he did say that the van there you see behind me is, or at least matches the description of the suspect vehicle. And there have been developments in the last couple of minutes. Sheriff Luna called this a barricade situation, but just minutes ago, we actually saw LASD SWAT approach the vehicle. They popped out the window and then started to open the door. And as they were doing so, it appeared that someone who was in the driver's seat fell out, and that they actually had to kind of push that person back in. That person, as far as we could tell, was not moving. And Julio, who's behind the camera about an hour ago, was able to zoom in from a different vantage point. He could actually make out what appeared to be 2 bullet holes in the windshield, and still a very fluid situation. We saw what appeared to be a medic approach the person that was inside the driver's side. Don't know exactly what happened. They have since moved the armored vehicle that you see, which has limited our vantage point. But again, there's a very large law enforcement presence. When we first arrived just after 11, we were hearing Torrance police on a loudspeaker telling whoever was inside the van to roll down the window and to throw out his weapon. But we didn't see any movement at that point from inside the van, and we've not seen any since. The Sheriff's Department did come through the parking lot of the Hobby Lobby. We're actually at Hawthorne Boulevard and Sepulveda. It started to clear people out, saying that there was a potential hazmat situation, but they did not elaborate on what that could be. Again, they have not been able to, up until now, actually see what's inside the van. But again, they have just opened the door and appear to be tending to someone who was in the driver's seat, and no doubt are getting a very better look at what might be inside there. And we will, of course, keep you posted. That's the latest from Torrance. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Christy Fajardo, thank you. And from our vantage point with the view from Skyfox, we can see that all the doors are now open to the cargo van, except for the rear door where there's a Bearcat that is nudged up against it. There also appears to be some broken glass on the parking lot, the asphalt there in front of it. Not quite sure what this pile of material is, but it looks as if they are emptying that cargo van. Indeed, they will be looking for evidence and to see whether or not this person inside the van was indeed connected to the shooting, which killed 10 people and injured 10 others. Another interesting thing about what Sheriff Luna just mentioned, he mentioned that he didn't like to name the hospitals where the victims were taken, and that in one instance, there was actually somebody who called in and said that they were on their way to the hospital to finish the job. And that is not the kind of trauma that these victims have already suffered, that they need any more of that kind of thing. So interesting to watch the investigation here, the incident.
Susan, the Sheriff's Department is planning to hold a news conference in about 30 minutes to give us an update on the van you see here behind me. I'm going to step out of the way to give you a better look. Now, at one point, the sheriff said that this van matched the description of the suspect vehicle in the Monterey Park shooting, but would not say definitively that the person inside was the suspect. They did call this a barricade situation. And when we first arrived, Torrance police could be heard on loudspeakers telling whoever was inside the van to roll down the window and to throw out his weapon. We never saw any movement. The van was surrounded by armored vehicles, and about 30, maybe half hour or an hour ago, SWAT team actually approached the van in an armored vehicle, and we saw deputies get out and open the door, and they actually took vitals of someone who was inside the driver's side. We did not see any movement, so it appears whoever was inside is dead. We also, when we zoomed in, could make out what looked like 2 bullet holes in the windshield. And at that point, the Sheriff's Department moved out. They opened the other doors of the van and started to pull items out. You can see blankets there on the ground. And then the SWAT team rolled out to another scene. We're told another white van about 4 blocks from where we are. Whether that is connected, we do not know at this point. We hope to get that information when they do hold that news conference again in about 30 to 40 minutes. At this point, it looks like they may be waiting for the crime scene unit to process the scene, and also possibly the corner because we've not seen anyone be removed from the van. And again, we did see a deputy taking vitals of whoever was inside, and that person was not moving. Live in Torrance, I'm Christy Fajardo. Let's send it back to you.